Hey, preying on predators, I got something for you. Hunting down south in the land of the pines, making them sets round North Carolina, staring up the fields, praying I see coyotes. Hunting down the coast for 17 hours, wearing ourselves out with tournament hours. I'm hoping for a triple to kill a pile tonight. So call me a cow with a little beat, call me a cow in the OPC. Hey, Foxborough, call me.
Hey guys, Chance with Preying on Predators, coming to you today with my review of the Commander tripod from Warrior Tripods and their Chief Leveling Head, which is an inverted leveling head. So Mark from Warrior Tripods put out on Facebook that he was looking for some individuals to test run his product. Put my name in the hat, was fortunate enough to be drawn to test it. Got it with Mark, sent it to me, got it pretty quick. It was an easy process. Grabbed it, got it out of the bag, and immediately I noticed its, I want to say, girth, if you will. You know, it's just a beefy, beastie tripod. Definitely something, as soon as I picked it up, I knew it was going to be a sturdy platform. Threw the leveling head in there. I've always used a leveling head or a ball head, so this inverted one with a little joystick here is a little different for me, but it's something I was willing to try and I was interested in to see how it would work. So going over the specs of it, it's a two-section inverted tripod. So the larger legs on the bottom are 42.5 millimeters, and the second section closer to the yoke is going to be about 39 millimeters, so inch and a half in diameter, roughly. They have really big, beefy adjustment sliders on them, little turn twist locks. I'll show a video and photos of that here in a second. You know, and a nice big textile feel to it. You grab it, whether it's you're barehanded or wearing gloves, you can really get a hold of it and then unlock and then adjust the tripod as needed. It's a pretty quick adjustment to adjust it however you need, so depending on the terrain that you're hunting, or if you're going from sitting to standing or vice versa. Pretty easy to do, pretty quiet, not in a lot of scratching or grinding sound that you may feel or see in other tripods. Comes in at 7.4 pounds, so it's a little bit heavier. It's a couple of pounds heavier than my Leofoto SO282C carbon fiber tripod, which is also a two-section inverted tripod. That one comes in at like 3.5, 4 pounds. So it's a little bit heavier, but bigger components, you know, so yeah, I expected to weigh a little bit more. It has these adjustments where you can pull all the way out, nice and easy, and then adjust it as needed for the whatever angle that you may need, or if you're going to go completely prone, lay it all the way flat, or adjust it how it needed to be. It's got a 70 millimeter base head, so any ball head or leveling head that has a 70 millimeter base can screw right onto here. It's fairly easy to set up. It's got a quick adjustment tension knob, and then a safety lock in here to keep it from coming out. And then you get to the Chief leveling head here, which is, as I said, it's inverted. It has a adjustment knob down here. It's a little, you know, cylinder thing, about 6 inches. You turn it clockwise to loosen, counterclockwise to tighten. So it kind of took a second to get used to. It does have a hook on the bottom of it, so you can weigh it down with sandbags if needed, whether you're doing landscape photography and need it to be steady from the wind, or if you want to drop a bag there if you're doing PRS and you really need to get that additional stability. It does have that weighted hook there. And then you come up here, and then you have, it's an Arca mount, quick disconnect with the adjustment here. This was something new to me with the adjustment knob for it. This, you know, pretty simple. You just get your Arca mount, put it in there, close it up. But when you're first getting it set up, you set your Arca rail in there, and then on the right hand side, where I have my right hand side, is the adjustment knob where you can loosen it all the way if you have a wider Arca plate, or you tighten it down. So set your rifle in there with the Arca plate. I opened it all the way up, set my rifle in there, and then adjusted it to where it was tight. And then once it gets tight, you can really feel the tension on it when you go to lock and use a locking lever to lock it in place. So you don't want it to really crank down and take a whole hand and a lot of strength and force to close it. You're just going to wear out that tension bar and those tension springs in there. And you want it firm, snug. You don't want it to be too light where it just comes off, and you don't want it too loose. Like that, nice and easy, quick to adjust. The one thing I did have an issue with is putting it in the back of the Coyote caddy. The adjustment knob got turned, or it got caught on my gear or something, and it came loose when I had the gun in the tripod. Threw it up over my shoulder, went to walk, and I felt the gun give way as it slid out from here. My Arca mount did not have the front stops on it, so the gun slid all the way out. It fell on its, hit the buttstock and then fell back. That did cause an issue. Later on, I found that the mount that goes into my scope, the base of the scope mount, had broken tension and broken torque and was loose, which was causing me to miss a couple of coyotes. But I should have checked my gear before that. It wasn't an equipment failure. It was a user error on this. I should have checked my adjustment knob. I didn't pay attention to how much tension was on the lever as I closed it. I was busy talking, telling Timmy, Jason, hey, this is where we're going to go set up at. This is what we're going to do. Before we got to the stand, just wasn't paying attention. So that's a user error, not an equipment fault. But that's one thing that you need to pay attention to if you're running this style, whether this leveling head or another style leveling head. I know there's a couple other companies that have an adjustment knob for it. Just make sure it's at the right setting, and when you go and latch it in, it's locked, it's secure. That way you don't have to worry about your gun sliding off the back of your tripod. So as far as performance, I've taken this thing out and used it in all around North Carolina where we were hunting at. Used it up in the mountains and near Boone, North Carolina. Worked well. Was able to adjust it very easily to the different terrain, as well as the elevation and the slope of the mountain that we were hunting on. It wasn't that steep. We were kind of hunting in a plateau of it. Not bad. I mean, it does 7 pounds, but it's not heavy. I got a 12, 13 pound rifle on top of it. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not like I'm carrying the thing through the mountains of Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, going elk hunting. So it wasn't that bad. Even if you were doing that, I don't think it would be that much to do. It's 7 pounds. Nice, easy, beefy, very sturdy. It does have 2-inch spikes that are in it. Guys, when you get it, the spikes will be on the inside of the tripod. You got to unscrew the base, the foot pad. Unscrew it, you turn it there, there's your spikes. Break those loose, turn them around, and then you can screw them in the bottom of the tripod. Again, here in a little bit, I'll show you the video of that. So it really sat down well, and never had any complaints or anything, any worries that I wasn't steady. I was able to make a 200-yard shot, 131-yard shot, 80-yard shot that we did. Kind of slow for us coyote hunting right now. We didn't have too many come in. So when I was out there, I didn't really get to test the distance for it. But I mean, I was solid at 131, shot a coyote in the face. 100 yards, shot a bobcat at 100 yards. Just nice and sturdy. I was very pleased with that. Moving it around, the maneuverability of it is fine. It's a tripod. A tripod is a tripod is a tripod. But it was very sturdy and wasn't flimsy. So that's what my main thing was. Getting to the leveling head here. Again, I used a D-Low 55 mil ball head for a while, then I switched over to a leveling head, and that's what I'm currently running. And now this inverted leveling head was something a little different. It took me a minute to get used to, of adjusting down here underneath the yoke. The way I run my tripod is I have two legs, one leg in front, two legs in the back. So what I do is when I'm in the gun, I have position or room to position myself around the tripod. I don't have to worry about stepping over something in the middle if we're tracking a moving coyote or target. So that's why I do it that way. And additionally, when I'm loading the weapon, I'm leaning in a little bit, and on my ball head I have my hand up here and I'm pulling the weapon back into my shoulder just to get that extra stability and control. And with the leveling head I'm running, the adjustments here, so I can lock down, get in, take the shot, loosen it, step to the side or wherever I need to do to track another one or scan as needed. With this guy, I've got to have my hand here, and I'll show you in another video if you can see it here. Hold on, let me position the camera. So you gotta grab it here, and then so I'm here in the weapon, loosen, and then move it as needed, and then go ahead and take the shot, and then tighten up, take the shot. What I did like is that when I go to take the shot and I lock down the leveling head, I can keep my hand here on the adjustment and then lock my wrist up against the leg of the tripod, and I'm here. It's nice, sturdy, just another anchor point there. Was fine, and then crank it and then go and be able to adjust and track as needed. Again, I'm used to righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so turning to the right thinking I'm going to lock down. Oh, nope, that's left, that's loosened, so I got to switch it the other way. Just a little nuance with getting familiar with the gear and making sure that I was familiar with it. Again, another trick that we teach or preach on here is be familiar with your gear, so when you're in a tournament or when the shot counts, you're not screwing up and messing up the shot. So that is really the only complaint I have, is that one, it's counter, clockwise, righty, loosey, lefty, tighty. That's the only issue. The adjustment knob up here, it's convenient, it's nice, just not something I'm necessarily going to make sure I have on my next setup. And then having my hand down here, just my personal preference, shooter preference, not something I enjoy. I much prefer to have my hand up here on the yoke, or I can loosen, tighten all right here without my hand there, and I've got more freedom up here than my hand feeling restricted in this area down there. But definitely a solid tripod, solid choice. There's a lot of good companies out there that are making tripods, so if you're in the market for one, Warrior tripod and the Commander is definitely one you should consider and look at. The Chief leveling head, hey, it's a solid piece of gear, it works, it's good. I do like that it's lower, sits lower in the bowl, feels a little bit more sturdy, lower center of gravity. But with the adjustment down here, just not my cup of tea, not my preference. Some people love it, and if that's you, that's great. Just not for me. But it's still a solid piece of gear, and would recommend this leveling head for anyone who is looking for it. I'm again very grateful that Mark chose me to test out his product. I did the best I could with it. It held up. Most people, know me, I'm tough on gear, and it's held up, and I've had no issues with it whatsoever. So guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll put the link to Warrior tripods down below. Alright guys, so I'll show you how quick it is to adjust the tripod, the leveling head, to put your rifle on. So you untwist it all the way, open up that tripod, that leveling head, set the rifle in there, and then turn it to the right, and I crank it all the way down, and then now I'm feeling tension right here, nice, snug, nice and steady. You know, loosen it. It does fall pretty quick, but I do have a heavy rifle. So you can sit here. I do believe you have about 15 degrees of movement, maybe a little bit more. It does feel a little bit more than my Leofoto leveling head, which the website says 15 degrees of movement. But I mean, you have some pretty good articulation. So shooting a PRS match, or you know, hunting in the mountains, I do think you'll be able to. This will work. You don't, as long as it's not too steep of an incline, I think you'll be all right. But then again, it is a tripod, so you can adjust those legs as needed. You know, the left or right leg or front back to get that different. Make sure you get that right incline for the shot and the trajectory. Then when you want to take the weapon off, just pop that guy kind of loose, nice and easy. That's about it. Again, I would just make sure you, and recommend that you make sure that the tension knob on your ARCA plate is snug, and then when you latch it, when it's all the way open, it's all the way open, it's all the way open. So you see how easy that was. There was no tension, you know, and it's closed, and that's what happened with my rifle, but that's because I didn't make sure the tension knob was tightened. So tighten it. It's on there, come across, still too loose, keep tightening it. A lot of resistance, probably a little bit more than I need, so I'll loosen it, a couple of clicks, there we go. And now I'm really pushing on it, and it's not going anywhere, you know. So came back a little bit, so just tighten it up a little bit more, make sure that the lever's in there nice. And now let's see, I'm pulling pretty hard, pushing, and it's not going anywhere. So word to the wise, make sure that you adjust the tension knob for your ARCA rail correctly, and then test it out. Push it, pull it, make sure that the thing's not going to go anywhere. My heart dropped when I felt the rifle come off the tripod. I was able to kick my leg around, and as it fell, and I caught part of the scope to keep it from falling right on the scope. But it did land on the butt pad, hit the forward assist here. Gun was no worse for the wear. Scope did come loose on the mounting bracket, the QDM mount here, but it broke torque, and was missing a couple of shots. Zero wasn't holding zero, you know, was all over the place. So troubleshooting, step one, check torque, pulled it off, saw that it was loose, and retorqued everything to spec. Went back out there, shot. I put 5 shots in an inch group at 100 yards. So she's back on. I shouldn't have any more issues with that. Guys, again, thanks. I appreciate everything. Stay tuned. We got some big news coming from the Onslow Predator Challenge that's coming up in January. Timmy's been working hard. We've had some very gracious and generous donations from companies all across the United States, you know, sending some stuff in. Local businesses have been great. They've stepped up and really making Timmy's 5th annual Onslow Predator Challenge one for the books. It's going to be the biggest one yet, with some of the great prizes. We will have a video about that stuff coming very soon. Thanks. Have a good day.
Call me a coward on full moon nights. Call me a coward with those pub screen fights. Hey, Fox Pro, call me. Call me a coward on distress KG. Call me a coward with the X360. Hey, Fox Pro, call me.